Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your latest Chelsea news. Two really pieces of good Chelsea news that's been floating about over the past 24 hours. One of them is some really nice comments coming from Todd Boehly. I'm very, very surprised, which makes me realize that, our owners, what I've said previously, that they're learning as well, and they finally seem like they have learned quite a lot. And Todd Boehly is showcasing what he's learned recently, and the way he's commenting on Chelsea Football Club is probably more in line with where the majority of the fan base wants to see Chelsea Football Club go down the track. So we're going to talk about that. And there's some really, really nice information in regards to Giovani Kuwenda. One of the Chelsea journalists, Bobby Vincent, I believe, did some work on Giovani Kuwenda and providing some information regarding him. So we'll delve deep into that. There's a whole heap of other stuff that's floating about as well. But to be honest, it's probably going to become a podcast, and we don't want this news segment to become a podcast. So now, without further ado, let's go through all of the stuff that Todd Boehly has said to the Financial Review in the past 24 hours. And these are some of the really, really good quotes that has come out. And I think it's going to give you guys a very, very positive outlook to Chelsea Football Club. Now, mind you, look, we've all criticized the owners, and we still do. I've definitely been very, very critical. But I have to say, and I've said this many a times over the past few videos, that over the past probably 6-7 months, since the end of last season, about 7-8 games, Conference League, Club World Cup, and even to a certain degree this season, there's a lot of things that I feel like our club has done right. They're moving in the right direction, as opposed to the first 3 seasons where it was chaos. It was absolutely chaos. And some of the stuff that the owners were saying as well were mad. And I said, look, we've got owners that need to learn. We've got directors that need to develop. We've got players that need to develop. We've got managers that also are rookie managers. So this is a recipe of disaster, but I feel like slowly but surely it is turning, and they're making the right decisions more often. Now, this is what Todd Boehly had to say. We're in this for the long term. We want to build something sustainable and exciting for fans. Money is a tool, not the goal. We're investing in talent to compete at the highest level, but it's about smart risk, not reckless ones. I like it. I like a lot of things that's being said here. Sustainable and exciting for the fans. Look, I feel the way we have conducted ourselves under the new ownership in the first 3 seasons, I feel like there's a lot of things we could have done differently. There's a lot of players that we could have brought in. There's a lot of, I suppose, people in the background that we didn't need to let go so quickly, so immediately, and many other things. The list is long, and there's a lot of things we could have done better. However, now, yes, luckily enough, the players we've brought in, they've grown and they've matured and they're gelling together, and there's a lot more gelling still needs to happen. Luckily enough, the manager that we have right now, Enzo Maresca, he's done a really good job. Overall, he's done a really good job. He also needs to take his game to the next level. The level doesn't stop where we are right now. It needs to elevate, evolve. So luckily enough, all of those things have come into fruition. They've gelled nicely. A lot more gelling still needs to happen. And the bits and pieces we're adding in the likes of Estevan Willian, Andre Santos, and many other players. Yes, we could have done better in the left wing. Yes, we could have done better in the centre-back position. But, we will down the track. We've got players, very, very interesting young players to look forward to. Anselmino, Mamadou Sarr, Quenda, who we're going to talk about as well. So, yes, I can now see that we've built a present, and we still need to keep building on this present. We cannot, deter away from it. And Todd Boehly talks about this, that right now it is all about winning. So we have a good base, I feel, right now, and we need to keep on improving and win from here. And Enzo Maresca is a big part of that. And this is why in recent times I've been more critical about Enzo Maresca, that I feel like you now need to up your level. But this thing from Todd Boehly, sustainable and exciting for the fans, yeah, I get it, because you now have a product that is fairly good. Now keep adding to it, keep building on it, and make it sustainable and exciting for the fans. Money is a tool and not the goal. And he goes on to say, smart risk, but not reckless ones. Absolutely. This is why sometimes, now when we look at the market and we go, oh, why can't we get that huge player for 100 million? I don't think we're going to do those sort of business anymore unless it makes sense. If it absolutely makes sense, we'll do it. If not, we're going to stay away from it. And we're going to focus on building up younger players and not just younger players that have experience at the highest level as well. Like, last summer, we looked at players like Xavi Simons, who's a young player, but experienced at the highest level. He's not doing that well at Spurs at the moment. We looked at Fermin Lopez. I like the fact that we're looking at these type of players, players that are not just young, but are very, very good players as well. So I've got no issues if that's the kind of caliber that we might be going for down the track. And it looks like we will be. So I'm quite happy with that. Look, Garnacho and Gittins, these are some of the deals that I feel they're a bit of a hit and miss. It can happen, it may not happen, but we'll see. Right now, there are players. Hopefully, it works out for us down the track. But yeah, I get it. I understand. It's about smart risk and not reckless ones, because we've made a lot of reckless ones in recent times and it has financially hit us a lot. And that's the other thing. Chelsea Football Club, we're not in a position to get done financially anymore. We don't make enough money through, stadium revenue. So we have to ensure that we don't screw up ourselves financially with player dealings as well. Todd Boehly, the Premier League is a battlefield. You either adapt and attack or you get left behind. We're choosing to attack. Football isn't just sport anymore. It's global entertainment. We're building a brand that resonates worldwide, from Stamford Bridge to streaming screens everywhere. I agree. You look at all the business that we're trying to do with South America, players we're trying to get from Brazil. We're trying to attract that South American market. A lot of these South American, gems, they really want to join Chelsea Football Club. They see the rise of Estevan Willian. They see the rise of Andre Santos. And they feel happy. Obviously, winning the Club World Cup was a huge, huge part. Building, as I said, you got to keep winning. And this is why it's so important this season. To all the fans that say sometimes that, Miz, you're being very delusional this season. I'm not. We need to win. We must win at least one of the, domestic competitions, and we must do well in the Premier League. Whether we win it or not, that's a separate story, but we must be up there competing. In the Champions League as well, really push ourselves to try and win that. Some of our players are determined to win that. Enzo Fernandez recently came out and said he wants to win the Champions League with Chelsea Football Club. Cole Palmer as well. So, these things will create a better brand for Chelsea Football Club worldwide. And yeah, I agree. Football is not just about football. There is that branding. It is an entertainment, and we are getting some really, really exciting talents to come and join Chelsea Football Club. And hopefully, down the track, we get a front of shirt sponsorship as well, because all of that is part of building a very, very good brand. And as I said, it's not just about football. Now, Chelsea co-owner Todd Boehly, you're going to continue to watch our team evolve and grow. We've got them together for a long time. I'm pretty excited about the future looks like. And me too. I'm very excited as well. I've always said this season, from the start of this season, there's a lot to like about this squad, man. There's a lot of exciting prospects that are growing very well. And, it's not just about prospects. I feel like these players are good enough to compete and win stuff for us. This is my honest belief on the squad. So, yeah, and then when you look at, players that are going to come in the future, like your Quenda, along with Estevan Willian and Cole Palmer, how can you sit there and say that, no, Chelsea Football Club, we're not going to compete. We don't look that exciting. Our future is not that bright. It looks fantastic. It really does. And then, you see the way people talk about the recent purchase that we got from Ecuador, the kid, 16-year-old. Apparently, he's the next big thing in terms of defender. Can we actually sit here and downplay that anymore? Look at some of the youngsters that we have, and look at especially Estevan Willian. Look at the way he's moving. Can we actually sit here and mock what we're doing anymore? Yes, we need to win trophies to validate all of this stuff, and that is the most important part of it all. And Todd Boehly talks about that. Chelsea co-owner Todd Boehly on Manchester United. It's been a long time since they've won. Winning is really valuable, so figuring out how to get back to winning ways is important for all teams. You have to be competitive. 100% you have to be competitive. Further goes on to say, the English papers remind me every day how smart they are and how stupid I am. Sometimes my wife and my family take it differently than I take it. I just find it's one more person that doesn't know what they're talking about. Look, Todd Boehly, let's be honest. Yes, there are certain parts where the English media, they mock and they run with it and they make a meal out of it. 100% I understand that. But there's a lot of things that you've said previously that were mock-worthy as well. So let's not twist it up. You've come a long way, Todd Boehly. The way you're speaking now to compare to how you used to speak before, you've come a long way. You're starting to understand football. You're starting to understand what the fans demand. You're starting to understand where Chelsea need to be. So, which is great to see. But let's not pretend that, once upon a time, you were talking a lot of nonsense too. Todd Boehly, Reece James has become an unbelievable leader. And we've, as a fan base, have said this, that Reece James in the past 12 months, not only he stayed fit, but he has become a top leader. A leader that you feel is, good enough to drive Chelsea to win big majors. A leader that I feel is so important to our development, our success in the future. Every time Reece James now plays for us, I feel so much more confident. I actually feel a little bit nervous when Reece James is not on the field. And testament to the backroom staff to be able to keep him fit as well for as long as we have. Thank God. Please, inshallah, he stays fit. And he's very, very important. Honestly, he's very important this season. He's very important moving forward. I'm just so glad that, in this new ownership, hopefully the recent success that we've seen and hopefully the success that we'll see down the track, that Reece James will play a big part in it. And yes, he has developed into a top leader. Todd Boehly, Sanchez is doing pretty damn well right now. All the people that have been talking about goalkeepers in recent times, can we really talk about goalkeeper right now at the moment? Sanchez, honestly, for the past 6 months has done well. Yes, I want to see him do well even more for another 6 more months just to really solidify that yeah, okay, you know what, he's turned a corner. But right now, I don't think we can talk about getting a top goalkeeper anymore. He's not really done anything wrong. In fact, he's actually been very good. Some of his distributions in recent times has been phenomenal. I'd even go as high as saying that world-class level is some of his distributions, which has at times created opportunities for us. So long may it continue. If this continues, then we don't need to worry about goalkeeper anymore. But I do want to see it for another 6 more months for me to absolutely say that, yeah, you know what, maybe Robert Sanchez has turned a corner. Todd Boehly, the reality is it's just about winning. Are you winning or are you not? In the end, there can only be one champion. I love this. Finally, Todd Boehly has said it's about winning, because previously they weren't talking about that. Now they're talking about winning, which is why in recent times I've said I'm more looking at Enzo Maresca now. All the pieces are there. Yes, there are certain pieces missing. I've said it's not a flawless squad by no means, but there's quite a lot of good pieces there available. You need to make better decisions to ensure we can do better. For example, Man United. Yes, we were a man down, but the decision-making for Enzo Maresca was ludicrous. Brentford, the way we threw away those games, better man management, better substitutions. There's been many instances where the substitutions have been negative. Brighton, we're a man down, 1-0 up, but some of those substitutions looked a little bit dodgy for me. Things like that can, Enzo Maresca can do a lot better. Starting lineups, Enzo Maresca can do a lot better. And yes, when I hear Todd Boehly now talk about the reality is just about winning, I feel like he's serious. I feel like Chelsea are serious. If Enzo Maresca cannot lead us to winning stuff, then I think his future will be in doubt, and we'll look at some other manager that can take over the current mob and start winning. Every season we need to win something. This season, look, I'll be happy if we get one of the domestic cup competitions, whether it's Carabao Cup, whether it's FA Cup, let's win one of them and go as far as possible on the other ones and keep doing that season in, season out. I really like that from Todd Boehly. Now, that is all in regards to Todd Boehly. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section how you feel about all these comments from Todd Boehly. Me personally, I'm starting to like the way he's talking. Finally, these owners are talking the way we want as a fan base for them to talk. So let me know your comments and how you feel about Todd Boehly's recent commentary about so many different aspects of Chelsea Football Club. Now, in regards to Giovani Kuwenda, quite a lot of things to go through in regards to Giovani Kuwenda. Really nice piece of information done by Bobby Vincent. If you guys don't follow Bobby Vincent, go out there and follow him on X. This is in regards to Giovani Kuwenda. Sources say Giovani Kuwenda has been working to improve his physical condition so he's ready for the Premier League. He often analyzes his own performances and watches clips of other wingers like Neymar, Yamal, and Ronaldo to try and add his own game. Fantastic. One name is missing, is Messi. You should be throwing Messi's name in there. But yes, Neymar, Yamal, Ronaldo, top players to look at and use them as role models. Why not? There's another really top player at Chelsea now, Estevan Willian, Cole Palmer. Look at those players as well. But I like the way he's trying to prepare himself for next season by physically conditioning himself, which is very important because in the Portuguese league, let's be honest, the physicality is nowhere near as the English Premier League. I'm not downplaying the Portuguese league. I think it can be very physical. I think it is somewhat physical, no doubts about that. But when you come to the Premier League and you're that flair player kind of a player, you need to add that physicality or else you're just going to get pushed around and bullied all across the field. And this is fantastic to see that Giovani Kuwenda is focusing and concentrating on that. Giovani Kuwenda has been taking intensive English lessons to help him adapt quicker when he moves to the UK and has attended some Chelsea home games to understand how the team plays. Fantastic. Great attitude. Trying to learn the language, which will obviously help him adapt quicker in the environment, not just with his teammates, but outside of football as well. And, attending Chelsea games to understand how we play. Brilliant. The quicker you realize exactly what is needed to play for Enzo Maresca's team, the better it is for you. So you can come into the preseason next season and hit the ground running straight away. And look, it's going to be interesting how the dynamics is going to be with Giovani Kuwenda, who likes to operate on the right. Can he also play on the left? We need to watch a lot more of Quenda. Quenda, from what I've seen recently for Sporting, he plays predominantly on the right. We've got Estevan Willian there right now. What is the evolution next season with Palmer, Estevan, Quenda, Garnacho, Gittins? Does Pedro Neto, is his time up? Is he going to be the one sacrificed next season? We shall see, because the word at the moment with Giovani Kuwenda is, ladies and gentlemen, that he is very much part of the first team squad next season. It's understood Chelsea have communicated with Giovani Kuwenda that he will be part of Enzo Maresca's first team plans next season. As I said, the evolution is going to be interesting to watch. Where does Palmer play? Where does Estevan play? How do you fit in Quenda? Do you do what you've done with Palmer? Take your time with Quenda and slowly adapt him into the team. And that might be the case initially. But once that's done, where does he fit in? Very, very interesting to see. But glad to have all of these special talent at Chelsea Football Club, because Giovani Kuwenda, honestly, from the little bits and pieces that I've seen, he looks immense. He does look immense. Another top quality notch player coming to Chelsea Football Club. Giovani Kuwenda knows that earning a spot in Chelsea's lineup won't be easy, but he's not daunted by the challenge. He understands that the success at Chelsea requires hard work, but the Portuguese star is confident he can become one of the world's best. His ultimate goal. Fantastic to see Chelsea continue to bolster its young attacking squad. Some may laugh when the Blues sign another teenage talent, but as we've seen it with Estevan early days at Stamford Bridge, it can pay off handsomely with Quenda. The club is confident they'll have the last laugh once again. And I'm confident as well the club and the fan base will have the last laugh. We can't sit here anymore and laugh about all of these young players anymore, because some of these young players are turning out to be superstars. We can't. The only thing we have to worry now is we need to keep on adding silverware. It's great we're bringing in all of these gems, but all of this needs to translate to silverware. The Guinea-Bissau-born teenager Giovani Kuwenda is ready to take on any role across the front line for Chelsea. He's proven his versatility at Sporting Lisbon, demonstrating his ability to play both as a winger and a number 10. Look, as I said, the evolution of how the attack will look like next season Will be interesting to see how Maresca fits everything, but it's great to have all of these quality players available to compete in all fronts. Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, Club World Cup, be winning everything, dominate the scene. And I think we can definitely do that. With some of these talented players, we can definitely do that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the latest in everything we've got to say about Chelsea's news over the past 24 hours. There's a lot more, actually, but we'll try and do it on a separate video. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, how you feel about all of this. Todd Boehly comments and the piece about Giovani Kuwenda. How do you see the evolution of our attack next season with him in the mix of things? Until next time, everyone, take care. See you. Goodbye.